My biggest challenge was interacting with a person who I wasn't acquainted with, and to continue and stay in contact with that person and make a relevant relationship from that point on.
How's your social life right now?
It's way better than how it was before. It's easier to meet people. In person, I did make close to 5 new connections. The two of them are more of my professional friends, whereas the other three are more friends that I made as we go. Otherwise, it's more just let's go out for a bike ride or let's go out for coffee or something like that. It's been mostly like that. Just getting out. It's reassuring that you don't have to stay home or you just don't have to do things by yourself. You can just connect with someone, ask them if they want to hang out, just have company, just enjoy it and maybe sometimes try new things.
Welcome back to my channel, and in this video we're gonna jump into an interview with one of my clients, Omer, who has been crushing it in his social life and achieving his goals in his social life. All right, so I'm sitting here with my client Omer here from Montreal. Can you maybe tell the viewers a little bit about yourself?
So I moved to Montreal a few years back, just sort of discovering, and also it's because my family was living. So it was a whole new place, meet people. It was a bit hard. My background is as a programmer, so we usually work on the computer. The human interaction is quite less. So by default, it's like a socially introvert situation, anyways.
Okay. Gotcha that. To start with, where we started working together on this social mentoring program, where were you in the beginning?
I knew when I moved to Montreal, it was quite hard meeting new people, try different ways, and I discovered that the hardest part was, well, to first interact with people I didn't know, but it's also the environment, the uneasiness to be in a strange environment. Before starting the program, I was skeptical, but at that time, I just took the leap and I said, okay, let's see what I can learn, what I can go from like one point to another, because I can see you can even see progress from a smaller segment of time and then move on from there.
Okay. And how did that make you feel when you moved to Montreal and you discovered that it was maybe a little bit more difficult to socialize?
There was another barrier, which was the language barrier. When I moved here, I didn't know any French. So walking on the street, listening to people talk, especially in a language I don't know, it already made me feeling like an alien, just, going around. I didn't understand a lot of things. There's also a different type of culture that's here, and that comes with time. It was hard within a lot of aspects. So even though when I tried interacting with people and with certain meetup situations, it felt like it was more of a fabricated situation. It's like it's made, but then when I go back to real life, it's like starting back from square one.
Ah,
So
okay.
it was quite difficult because when you're thrown back into situation outside the one that's constructed for you, then it was just hard to understand that. The social interaction was quite limited and low, and I was being really cautious, asking questions, and interacting with people. When I came into the program, my biggest challenge was interacting with a person who I wasn't acquainted with. And the second thing was to continue and stay in contact with that person and make a relevant relationship from that point on. It's good to go into events, talk to some people, but then you probably don't see them again. You probably don't interact with them. But in order to create meaningful connections, social connections in different ways, that's what I was really looking for.
Yeah, that can also be difficult sometimes when you don't know how to do it, and if you're not used to going out that much, and as you said it yourself, right? Then you get in front of a bunch of new people, and then you maybe talk to them, but yeah, as you said, you
Yeah.
don't see them ever again if you don't connect somewhere with them.
If let's say if you meet so many people like in a particular day, if everyone is just like how are you doing, and just an introduction, a little bit of conversation, and that's it, they're likely to forget about you, and then you're likely not to interact with them if you really wanted to, and that the connection dies right there. But if you create like a connection that is more particular and like really different, that person would actually be like, okay, I did talk to a person who said this, and then you take an initiative talking to them again, then they're more likely to not only remember you, but actually contact you again as well.
Yeah, yeah. And then if you're also able to stand out for the crowd, then yeah, people will remember you way more easy. How's your social life right now?
It's way better than how it was before. It's easier to meet people for coffee, for any outdoor interaction. I did meet people who really like want to get together.
So what do you think changed after we're working together?
The biggest thing that helped me first clearing my mind, the thinking ahead of time that, oh, this is what's going to happen. This, if I do this, is going to happen. So just clearing that out of my head and then getting out of my comfort zone. It's like another thing. It's just take a step, connect with someone, ask them how they're doing. And then all of a sudden just be like, okay, do you want to get together? You know, when you're free, be at this time. Does that work for you? Just that taking that step, and other people are more likely to be like, okay, let's hang out.
Okay, so you've been jumping at more opportunities yourself.
Yeah, yeah. I had a colleague in one of my initial internship programs where I connected with her. She was in Ontario, and then when she moved to Montreal, we actually met a couple of times. We went for a festival, we went to a market, and just asking each other, how was your experience with the program? It's like creating another connection. It's more like a work connection, but it's still like a more casual social interaction, which was really nice.
Okay. That's a good story. It's funny how you can bond over something, right? Pretty
Yeah,
quickly sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah, awesome. What do you think is the biggest takeaway from this program?
Habits. I didn't realize the value of those habits in the start, but as you keep doing it, as it becomes part of your everyday, it becomes quite powerful. And that routine really helps. I would say that was another big component for especially being socially interacting with other people. Planning ahead of time, whatever you want to do, it gives a lot of satisfaction at the point when you achieve it.
What do you think when it comes to meeting new people? What have been one thing or a few things that stand out?
It's definitely the ease of interaction, how things are, how you plan, and then it becomes more of a flow. You can be yourself, you can talk about pretty much anything, even if it's an interest of one person and not the other. If you really talk about something in a passionate way and yet still causing a bit of an interest in the other person, you can make a great conversation. And then sometimes they could pick up your interest as well.
Yeah, when the conversations flows natural and you learn these things, then you also have more fun. You enjoy the conversations more, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, awesome. What would you say if there's a viewer watching this video? What would you advise them to do?
The first step would be to take an initiative. You have to figure out and you have to get some sort of not help, but more of a mentoring or teaching, like someone who can help you out. It's not that easy to figure things out yourself, but it can actually save you a lot of time and effort if someone actually guides you in these situations. So that's the first step. First step is to know that you have to make a change. There needs to be a change. Second step is actually seeking out that help for that change. So those are the two most important things. Once you do that, then everything is like blocks just forming in front of you and you can just keep going in that direction.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I like that. We all have our blind spots, right? And if you're not
Exactly.
aware of them, they can keep you down, right? And they can
Yeah.
do you remain stuck in your
Yeah.
social life.
Really, the first step is really identifying them, the issues or the problems or the roadblocks or the barriers that you have. Then what are you going to do about them? That's the next question. That's the deciding factor. Are they going to stay there? Then you're going to continue having those roadblocks, or are you going to change them? Are you okay with the change? It's always hard for the change. I remember in the start, it was doing certain exercises. I wasn't comfortable enough with them, and it took me time, but once you do it a few times, then it becomes easier to do.
Yeah, so it's a sense of achievement, right? In the beginning,
Exactly.
it feels unfamiliar for you and uncomfortable because
Yeah.
it's new for you. But
Yeah.
then, if you keep going, you
Yeah.
get some excitement out of it.
Yeah. When you're thinking of a situation, you actually think of the result as well. And that's where the problem is. You don't have to think of the result. You just, when you do it, the result would depend on the situation itself because the situation is different, the person's different, the interaction is different. It could go any way. The less you think about what the result could be, the better it is because then you're more likely to actually take a step forward rather than just stand there and think about it.
Have you made some friends in this period of time where we start working together?
I made five or so friends, but in person, I did make close to five new connections. Some are new, some are quite new, some are still ongoing.
I remember in the beginning you told me that you were used to say no to a lot of social
Yeah,
invitations.
with this one particular friend who asked me quite a lot to come for like lunch, and recently I went to his place in the past month, the past 2 months, 3 times. They were quite happy that I stopped saying no in the start, and I said, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's hang out. Recently he started getting to the French courses, so he's learning French as well. So that's really interesting.
Awesome. It's really inspiring to hear that. What type of activities do you do together?
So two of them are more work, more of my professional friends who sometimes we do talk about more technological information, like, studies like that or information like that. Whereas the other three are more just friends that I made as we go. Otherwise, it's more just let's go out for a bike ride, or let's go out for coffee or something like that. It's been mostly like that, just getting out. I do have a plan with one of my friends for just like going for a lunch, and maybe they'll bring someone they know, so it'd be like meeting a new person as well.
Nice.
So yeah, it's like spreading out.
That
Yeah.
sounds really awesome. And that's really where it begins, right? Once you get know a handful of people, then you also get new introductions.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's very essential to have friends, no matter what they feel they are. You don't want to be talking about work all the time. You do want a variation. You want to hang out with people who talk about things that you don't really do. That's when you try new things, and then you're like, oh, if I knew this before, I would have done this. So it's this discovering yourself. That's where it comes to.
So yeah, you get new ideas, new perspective, and expand your comfort zone even more. And at the same time, get new introductions for new people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. How does it feel that you have more connections you can share ideas with professional and also go on hikes and go for coffee and explore the city? And
It's reassuring that you don't have to stay home, or you just don't have to do things by yourself. You can just connect with someone, ask them if they want to hang out, just have company, just enjoy it, and maybe sometimes try new things from them, then get to know people. So
awesome. Do you have anything you want to say to the viewers watching this?
to get to know yourself, you have to know what you can do and what is blocking you, what the issues are. Once you know the issues, what's the best way to resolve those issues. And it never hurts to get help. It never hurts to ask. The things that you will learn from them would be different from the things that they would learn from you. So it's a both two-way interaction. That's how you connect with people, and that's how you get more people in your life.
Okay, awesome. That's a perfect way to round this interview. Once again, thanks for being here and sharing your
No
story.
problem. Thank you so much for giving me a for this as well.
Okay, I hope you got something out of this video and learned something. If you found this video valuable, then hit that like button and make sure to subscribe. That will support my channel, and I really appreciate that. If you feel inspired and also want to find friends like Omer here did, finding 5 new friends, including business connections he can learn from, but at the same time also having people he can meet up for coffee with, or go biking, or do other things you might be interested in, and you kind of feel stuck and you don't have people to do these things with. And if you want to have a shortcut to this, then I have something for you, because you could book a free consultation call with me in 3 simple steps. Step number 1 is you click the link in the description that will bring you to a page. Step number 2 is you watch the free training video. And step number 3 is you click the application form and book a free consultation call. All my clients started with the free consultation call, and that's where we can see if we're a good fit to be working together and develop a step-by-step process in your situation, how you can achieve your goals in your social life. Don't procrastinate, because you're running out of time. Time is the only thing we don't get back. It's perfectly fine, ask for help, and it's perfectly fine to be talking about your challenges, and that might get you started. So click that link in the description and book a free consultation call, and then maybe talk very soon. And see you in the next video.